These new bells. Very confusing to me. All right, let's see if we can get some people in here. Here we come. Hello. Fun. Really fun noise. Okay, we got a couple more. Let's see if we can get them in. I guess I'm technically supposed to mark people late if they're not in by that bell, but we'll give them just a minute. How's everyone's day?
I'm running out of granola and I'm kind of sad about it.
Kind of sad about what?
I'm running out of granola.
Oh, that is very sad. Do you eat it with yogurt?
Yes, and I eat it by itself.
Oh, it's dry granola.
It's good.
That's thirsty work there. Okay, we've got everyone. Beautiful. Okay. So a couple things I want to look at first. Oh, you know what? Let me display this so that you can see it as well. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to share my screen with you for just a minute here and show you a couple things. First of all, oop, that's not you. This is you. This is obviously what Canvas's homepage looks like. Hey. I know, I told you I only have one kid. It's Mr. Washington, by the way. Really?
Yeah, I've seen most of these pictures. Tremaine.
Oh.
Russell. Is that Cece?
No. Oh, the one with the little dude on the thing. Trinae. Trinae, Victoria, and AJ. Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, so mine doesn't, like, now that I'm hooked up to AirPlay, when I plug the thing in, it doesn't show the classroom anymore. I mean, Mike figured it out for me. Because he said that, like, if I don't use my touch screen, then I could do AirPlay, which I don't know why I'd ever use the touch screen, honestly. I don't really see me ever doing that. What I was going to show you guys is that, I have to record these Zooms and put them on Canvas, and that actually takes up a lot of space. So what I've done instead is make a YouTube channel. And so when you go here, this is what this is what your homepage looks like. You can click here to connect to our Zoom. You can click here for the bell schedule. If you click here, it's going to bring you up to AP Language and Composition. I uploaded a couple already. I didn't record yesterday, I don't think. But this is where I'll put our videos from past classes. So if you're out, this is probably the best way to catch up, to watch the classes Zoom. So pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah, it's free. You have to have a verified account, but like it's so easy to verify your account. It's literally just, so I do have to do it on using like my own account. You can't do it through your Allegro account, but the only stuff I already had, I mean, I guess some of this could be kind of embarrassing, but the only other work I have is like Benvenuti's memorial stuff, the plays that my kids wrote a couple years ago, and then like a few videos of me as a deer talking about how Disney needs to have more ethnic representation. So I'm not really embarrassed for anybody to see any of that. I probably should be, but
Good points, good points.
so, and so now I just like made a playlist, which now I can't remember how to find. But yeah, I just made a playlist for each class. So when they go to, how do I find this? Yeah. I don't know. That's just YouTube itself, but yeah, it makes it, because you know, they take up so much space on Canvas. So this is actually a lot simpler. Yeah. Okay, so now you see that, you know that you can just click on that and get to all of our old videos. So I'll start uploading there instead of on Canvas. It just takes less space and is a lot easier. So I don't know if it's easier, but it's more convenient. So the other thing I was going to show you is on Wednesdays. Wednesday is our all virtual day. So I've been thinking about how I want to structure that. And I think that at least while we're hybrid, what I'm going to do is post new discussion posts every Wednesday. So we'll meet for class. I'll take attendance. I'll run you through like what the assignment is for that day, but Wednesdays will be primarily an independent work day. So I want to show you what that'll look like. I don't have the one posted for tomorrow yet, but I do want to show you. I posted this thing on our module, Wednesday discussion posts. Oh my gosh, Marilyn, my name is this up in the corner because Mike Baum thinks he's very funny. And when he gave me a new computer, he said it that way. And I don't have like the clearance to change it. He's the only person who can do that. So it's so annoying. I think I could remove it from here, but like when I log in every day, that's my name. He thinks it's so funny. Okay, so this Wednesday discussion post, this is to kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking for from your discussion post. So on most Wednesdays during hybrid learning, our classwork for the day will be to post in our discussion boards. I will have made an assignment beforehand, giving you a prompt to respond to for the day in the discussion posts. This work is classwork and is to be completed in class. I think I don't have it set up yet, but it will be due like at the end of class. It'll still be available after class, but it'll be technically late. So before I get too far into what that will look like, each of these posts will be worth 100 points, but you can also earn some extra points. Since you're all working on it during class, once another classmate has submitted their original post, you can receive up to 10 extra points by responding to their posts and engaging in meaningful discussion and conversation. And that needs to be more than just I agree or I don't agree with their post. Ask questions, get involved, tell us why your experience with the text was different. Discussion posts are really meant to be like conversational and have some interaction between you guys. So I'm not requiring you to do that, but you can do it for extra points. So each discussion post does have certain criteria that it needs to meet. It's not intended to be a quick sentence you can jot down in 5 minutes. You should put some real thought into what you're going to say and into how you present your opinions. So some expectations for the discussion post. You can kind of use this as a checklist. Is your post at least 200 words in length? 200 words is nothing. And like, that's not just coming from an English teacher perspective. Like one of my other classes has to do 200 word discussion posts. And I always wind up putting it into Pages or something with a word counter because it looks like it couldn't possibly be long enough. It's genuinely, it's like a longish paragraph is 200 words. Does my post answer all the questions or every part of the question in the prompt? Like I said, I will give you a prompt ahead of time or give you some questions to answer, and you just need to make sure that you're answering every part of it. Have I edited my post for spelling and grammar errors? Sometimes people think that if it's not like a formal essay, you don't need to look it over before you turn it in, but you do. Also, you're in English class, so you should. Come on. Have I conveyed some new original ideas other than just I agree or disagree, I liked or didn't like this, or a summary of what we read? You're kind of aiming for a little bit more than that, more interesting information, more interesting opinions and stuff that could spark discussion. And furthermore, is it your own work? I think that it would be harder to not do your own work on this just because of the kinds of questions that'll be asked. They're not like easily Googleable or anything, but you should be doing your own work anyway. And for extra points, have I engaged with other students' posts by leaving comments or replying to their posts? And again, that's not required, but you can get up to 10 extra points. Like if you do comment, like, I agree with David. Thanks for what you said, Marilyn. That sounded great. You might get a point because you did something, but you're certainly not going to get all 10. Getting all 10 points depends on the quality of your responses, whether it could provoke more discussion. Your responses, like if you choose to reply to someone, they don't have to be 200 words. I'm not really putting a word count on that, but just know that you won't get all 10 points if you don't really put some effort into it. So if you've not met all that criteria, you will not receive full points for the discussion post. So tomorrow, for instance, tomorrow is the day that you're supposed to have read the first 2 chapters of Angela's Ashes. And you might have some time in class to work on it today too. Today is also a fairly independent day, but you might wind up with some time to keep reading if you have not finished. What tomorrow will probably look like is we'll come in and I'll take attendance, show you what the discussion post for that day is about, and then I will probably have like a pre-recorded video that's like me talking about Angela's Ashes basically. And the reason I'd rather do that pre-recorded is just because like as I've been reading, I've been keeping notes, and I think it's easier for me to kind of lecture that way. So then you will be left on your own to do the Wednesday discussion posts. And that's kind of what it'll look like more or less every week. Anybody have any questions about that before I move on? Oops. No, okay. All right, so I will show you what we're doing today. And I kind of already gave you a preview of this yesterday, but as you know, we read Me Talk Pretty one day yesterday during class. And today you're doing the same thing that you did for Myth of a Latin Woman, which is exploring the text, some questions here. That's really tiny on my screen. And you can absolutely feel free to look back in the text and have that help you with these. The first one is, how does David Sedaris establish a humorous tone in the first 2 paragraphs, and what details contribute to this tone? So you might want to just go back to make sure you know what's going on in those first 2 paragraphs. How does Sedaris manage to make us laugh at the other students without seeming to mock or make fun of them? Because honestly, it only ever really seems like he's making fun of the teacher. What effect does he achieve by including actual dialogue? And I mean, you might want to mention those bits in the dialogue where he just, it's like a key smash kind of thing instead of a foreign word he didn't know. How does Sedaris characterize the teacher? Is she intentionally cruel, an effective teacher, an overly strict disciplinarian? Is she portrayed as a stereotype, Refer to specific details and passages from the essay to explain your response. So again, you don't necessarily have to quote there, but you'll want to call back to the text. Number 4, what does Sedaris mean when he writes that understanding another language? I don't really know why I broke it up with multiple. I don't think that I was supposed to include those quotation marks there. Whatevs. What does Sedaris mean when he writes that understanding another language is a small step, nothing more, yet its rewards are intoxicating and deceptive? What does that mean? Number 5, Sedaris uses both understatement and hyperbole in this essay. Identify 2 examples of each and explain the effect. Number 6, like most humorists, Sedaris makes a serious point through laughter and comedy. What is his point in this essay? And just try stating that in 1 or 2 sentences. That's the big question. Number 7, Sedaris describes what for most of us would be a very unusual class, that is a class in a foreign country with students from all over the world. Yet for this essay to be funny, it must resonate with, why did autocorrect not? All right, with us to some extent. What aspect of the experience of being a student does Sedaris count on as common ground between himself and his readers? That's really one of the reasons that that writing resonates with people, is because they find some common ground with what they're trying to say, with what the author is trying to say. And I mean, like the question says, this is not really a normal experience for most of us. Like, I don't think most of us have ever been in a foreign language class in a foreign country with students from all over the world. But what elements of it could we possibly relate to? And why does that make us find it funny? And then the last one, in Laughter, an essay on the meaning of a comic, that's a book, philosopher Henry Bergson writes, several have defined man as an animal which laughs. They might equally as well have defined him as an animal which is laughed at. For if any other animal or some lifeless object produces the same effect, it is always because of some resemblance to man, or the stamp he gives it, or the use he puts it to. So the question here is, does Me Talk Pretty One Day more effectively present people as creatures who laugh or are laughed at? So those are the questions that you're answering for today. They're due at the end of the day, like 11:59 or whatever. But you have plenty of time to work on these, possibly even get them done. And if you do get them done, you can work on Angela's Ashes, which might be what I do. I still have a little bit left to read. So other than that, any questions about this assignment or the discussion posts or the YouTube channel or any of it? Okay. Well, you are free to sign off the call if you like and do this independently. And I will see you tomorrow if you choose to do that. I'll stay on the call in case you do have questions.